Hi guys, how are you doing? Here's Outrage of the month, and we are going to talk about something that is very current. It's unfolding right now. There's more and more articles being written about it like every minute, and it's basically like a big deal. I don't know whether you've heard of this or whatever, but essentially one of the hottest new biotech startups has potentially been discovered of some sort of a deceit. That means that its $9 billion valuation may have fallen flat. You might have heard of Elizabeth Holmes, who is like one of the youngest self-made billionaires, and she founded Theranos, or Theranos, or however you pronounce it. And you know, the company was valued at $9 billion, and the whole sort of key technology that made it be valued so high was that it was going to revolutionize healthcare by changing blood tests. That, you know, you have to take blood using a syringe from a vein, and instead of doing that, you just use a tiny amount of blood from a finger prick, right? Ta-da! And the Wall Street Journal has broken that from 4 different sources. Actually, for over 200 diseases, they only use this for 15 of them, and the FDA recently visited their lab. You know, surprise, we're here, and I think prohibited them from using their special blood container that they put the blood in, which is called a nanotainer, I think. So the controversy is high, and I think really the question here is, does it matter? What's going on? What's happening? Are these 4 people lying? She said that this article is just bullshit and everything is a lie. And so you know, what can you take from this? I guess people would expect, you know, rightly would expect a high degree of transparency and morals from companies generally. But you know, I guess the question is, you know, how do you balance that with the realities of having this sort of company to begin with? And you know, it's easy enough for people to be quite subjective when it comes to it. You know, for example, I mean, one of the recent magazines, one of the covers, she was on the cover, and the headline was "The Next Steve Jobs." I actually saw this magazine somewhere in New York recently. She was on multiple magazines, and if you take, you know, this likening to Steve Jobs, if you think of Apple, you know, undoubtedly, you know, many people have died as a direct result of Apple. You know, whether it's because they wanted an iPhone so badly, whether they sold a kidney, whether they worked in a factory, whether they, you know, whatever reason, you know, it's a huge operation, right? It doesn't stop anyone from thinking of Steve Jobs as the Messiah. And there's, you know, many other underhanded things that big companies have done, almost as part of their normal operation. You know, massive GlaxoSmithKline scandal of them paying doctors to use their drugs. And, you know, this could be just one of those things, you know. Is their technology crap? Maybe. Maybe it's not. Maybe it'll work out. And this whole thing will just be an insignificant bleep in the big sort of timeline of things. I don't know. What do you think?